This video is brought to you by 86. Pick up video game apparel from Skullgirls and Monster Hunter World. 86.com/?AFF equals 4 and let them know that we sent you. Hello everyone, it is I, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Bianes, back with our prediction, our afterthoughts and everything that went down in this year's Game Awards. With me as always is to my right. Let me see. Yeah, my right is Greg.
You have a mirrored. And my mirrored is everything backwards. Woo! Which is my left? Which is my right? You'll never know.
All right. So he is joining us to talk about everything Game Awards, and it happened. It happened this past. By the time this is recording, it happened last Thursday.
Yeah.
The better E3 as may have deemed it to be.
There's a lot of new E3 too.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. So we're gonna go over. What we're gonna do is go over each category, and then kind of pick out what won and our predictions as well. We made our predictions. If you have not seen it, our videos of Greg and some person named Claw Sizzle, which I do not know a person that exists in this world. So who knows? I
hate that. Hate that so much.
Yep. But yeah.
But first, let's kind of cover very briefly like some of the game announcements that interested us, because there's quite a few in here that I thought were noteworthy. Personally. Okay. So first off, and I know this is a big one for you, but Alan Wake 2 was announced.
Oh hell yes! As a person who's played Alan Wake and American Nightmare, I need to play Control because I know it has ties to Alan Wake. I love the hell out of that game. I loved it. I played that on the original Xbox 360 when it came out, and man, it was a hell of a game. Hearing that Alan Wake 2 was happening, I just super excited. It's been what's it, 10 years? Somewhere along those lines, a very long
like
time. Yeah. So I got absolutely. I'm super hyped for Alan Wake 2.
The big thing that was mentioned when they showed off that game was that the head developer or whatever, he talked about it being like
survival
Remedy's
horror.
first actual survival horror,
which is weird because when I played that game, like I felt like it was already like that already.
Yeah. And that's kind of people's reaction. They were just like, well, I thought it already was, but guess not.
Okay, you're gonna scare me more. Sure. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was like, it's an action game that's kind of spooky. I'm like, I suppose, but yeah. So we pull up the list again. I said, here we go. Among Us VR was announced, which I was like,
okay, I'm down for. I'm super down for.
I am, but also it's like my question is like, why VR before just a first person version? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like a jump or a leap.
Well, the funny thing about that is there's already Among Us VR right now. If you go in VR chat, like it is like one of the most popular worlds, and people already playing it. I've seen people playing it on stream a few times. I haven't done it myself yet, but that already exists for free right now, and I'm wondering how they're gonna do it. I would still be down for it just because I like to support the devs to try it out. But I'm wondering how much different they're going to do, or just going to straight up copy it. So
yeah, I was gonna say, because like I can't play it because I don't have a VR set up. So that's kind of where I was thinking, like, why is it specifically VR? But whatever.
Yeah,
it'll be fun to watch the streamers play. I'll tell you that much.
Oh hell yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be glorious.
One that stood out to me big time was Arc Raiders. Or ARC Raiders. I'm sure it's Arc Raiders.
Which one was that?
But it was one of the later trailers, but it was like these guys with jetpacks fighting these giant robot spiders.
Vaguely. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up real quick as you describe.
Yeah, it looked fucking awesome.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a multiplayer co-op sort of game where you're taking out these giant fucking robots, and I just looked fucking awesome. So
yeah.
But Then they announced doing Spice Wars, which will probably be a real-time strategy game, knowing the company that is making it. So
yeah.
Let's see. Scrolling down, looking at other ones, because Sonic Frontiers was announced, which I was like, oh, okay, like I guess we're gonna have a Sonic fucking open world game. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think a lot of people were like saying like, hey, didn't we learn this from Sonic 06? So like, you know, I understand the hesitation and all that.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't call Sonic 06 an open world game to begin with. It had an open world hub, but that open world hub was not a level. Like, I guess there was a part of it that became a level when it got hit by enemies, but even still, like, this seems like it's a little Breath of the Wildy. And I hate using that term like as a blanket, but
right. Oh, I hear.
Like Halo Infinite just came out, and it's like it's fully a open world game. So, but and it just seems like a lot of games are becoming open world, and I'm like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
One that stood out to me that I was excited about was Star Trek Resurgence, which will be from Dramatic Labs, which is a bunch of ex Telltale employees.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so it'll basically be a Telltale game without being from Telltale.
Okay, cool.
And I like Star Trek, so one that like had an audible groan from everybody was Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah.
But not because the trailer looked bad, but because it ended with the words "Quantic Dream."
Yeah.
Then I saw a headline that said that David Cage was closely involved.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh. Fun.
I need to watch The Expanse so I can play the Telltale game when that comes out.
Cool.
Have you seen the Matrix Awakens tech demo?
I have. Looks good.
Dude, that Unreal 5 engine is insane.
Yeah. It looks. It's funny enough. I recently bought an Xbox Series X for my dad. We played around with it for a little bit here at home, and it looks good. Yeah, man.
Okay, so you never actually played with it?
Yes. It's a short, like, just hey, here's a preview of what future games may look like in the future, and if that's the case, then damn, we're getting pretty close, man. We're getting pretty close to like.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. So the other one that I thought even Jeff said nobody has this on their bingo card was the announcement of a Wonder Woman video game.
Yeah, I'm curious. Obviously, it was just a teaser trailer, but they didn't show anything. I thought for sure when I saw that, I thought it was gonna be Injustice 3, just from the beginning. WB, Wonder Woman. I was thinking, oh, Injustice 3. I was like, no, it's not that.
Yeah, no, I was in the same boat. I was like, oh, they're cool. Injustice 3, great, because that it made sense. But when it was just Wonder Woman, I was like, what's happening here? So I looked it up because the company that's making the game sounded familiar, Monolith. They made the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War game, both of those. So the Wonder Woman game will have the Nemesis system, which is a great I personally think the Nemesis system is a really cool feature to have in a game.
Absolutely, it really is. Yeah.
I really fucking hate that that Monolith basically fucking locked down the whole nobody else can use this system.
Yeah.
Because it's a great it's fucking amazing, but I'm interested because of that. But that's it. That's all that they really showed.
Yeah.
There's a few other things they showed, but it's whatever.
Yeah. For me, you kind of said most of what I was already excited for. I think for me, just throw in there, they showed more Elden Ring, which looks sick. And as a person who's never played the Dark Souls series or any of that nature, I'm definitely jumping in with Elden Ring because it looks really good. And it's this looks really fun. What surprised me was they announced a sequel to Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Like Space Marine was released way long ago, and I heard it was good. I mean, it's a good game from what I've been hearing. And then like years later, like, oh, we got a sequel. It's like, wow, where did this come about? This was not on my bingo card. I love the fact.
I like they brought in the guy that like voiced the main character of that whole thing. They're like, he's coming back, and I'm like, great.
I love the fact that we finally got a release date for DLC for Cuphead. I think that has been taken.
Oh yeah.
I'm just happy for them just to get that thing out there. It looks. At first, it was just a character, but now they've expanded to a whole new map. I was like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. So you can't say much more than how Cuphead looks, and it's super awesome. So I'm more happy for them than anything else. Slitherhead looks interesting. It's only because like it's from one of the people who made Silent Hill, and this is their kind of foray into making a Silent Hill game without being Silent Hill.
You know what? Yeah, I was like, if it's like Silent Hill, where because Silent Hill wasn't scary because of the monsters, it was scary because it was eerie. Like it just gave off a awkward vibe.
Hell yeah!
If it does that, it'll succeed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looked like I was like, I'd watch this if it was a fucking movie.
Yeah.
There was another game that was shown. I just remembered. Thirsty Suitors.
God, I don't.
It kind of reminded me of like it looked like it was pixelized, 3D pixelized. Like it had a very visual, like interesting style to it. But the idea is that it has like a Scott Pilgrim vibe to it.
Oh.
So I don't know, look it up.
Yeah,
it looked interesting.
I can't forget. I can't believe I forgot about this. A sneak peek into the Halo TV show, a series / movie that was been 15 years in the making, that has been tossed around about making a movie. Almost happened with Neil, the man who made District 9.
Blomkamp.
Yeah, with District 9, you could definitely tell. Watch that movie. You look at the weapons; they're straight up just our Halo weapons. We finally got. Finally got a TV show happening.
We have no idea when the show is supposed to take place within the continuity of the games. But if I was to make a guess, it'd basically be the first game. I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Or in between.
It could also. I was gonna say. I mean, it could also take place before Master Chief. Like we could take control of Master Chief. It could be like between or like before Reach, the video game of Reach.
Yeah, which I will be all about because Halo Reach is one of the best stories so far. I'm playing through the campaign right now through Halo Infinite, and I've been hearing nothing but good things about the game. So I'm eagerly excited.
I'm only about 2 hours in. Oh, speaking of Halo Infinite, before we move on to the actual Game Awards winners, I saw a clip. So for everybody who hasn't played Halo Infinite or hasn't had a chance to experience this, I've seen 2 clips individually of a grunt and an elite. So the first one is the guy basically went into one of the bases. He destroyed everything, but he left one grunt alive. He then made his way into the rafters of some building, and all of a sudden you could hear the grunt go, "Spartan, are you there? Are you still mad?" And then the fucking dude pulls up the gravity hammer, drops down in front of the grunt, and the grunt goes, and then he kills the grunt.
That's
fucking
great. That's great.
Me.
That's great. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that clip, but I will look it up at some point.
The other one that I thought was great was he had a sniper rifle, and he has it aimed at an elite. And he keeps firing, like he's trying to hit the elite, but he keeps missing, like just terribly. And the elite goes, "Do not be afraid. He cannot aim."
That's awesome. That's great.
So good.
That's great.
It's so good.
Awesome. Holy shit.
So yeah. But yeah. So the other thing that I guess the last thing we can say that they showed there was the full-on trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
Where we actually get to hear Idris Elba voice Knuckles for the first time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we got to hear it. It's pretty good. It's funny how the first thing a lot of people point out, and it's now stuck in my head because of it. He sounds like the meme of Knuckles of, show me the way.
Does he? I didn't hear that.
I after listening to his voice and listening to that, it's like, oh, it kind of does. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear it, but
The internet's a bad place, damn it. I'm still hyped for it. I'm still hyped for the movie. Like, it looks good. It looks fun.
That's the wild part. Is it feels like what this show is doing, or this movie is doing, is making this world what the game has become. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
we're full on into like Jim Carrey looking like Dr. Robotnik. Full on.
Oh,
like the big
absolutely.
ass mustache. The fucking outfit, the fucking everything looks like an egg. And then he's got the wasp now, like the full on, like he looked like wasp. And then he's trying to get the chaos emeralds. I'm like, all right, we're just going full bore. Got it. Great. Awesome.
I love it. I love it. This is when you get the best Jim Carrey, honestly. Just let him go ham. Just let him go nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I think the dude has some weird, like, ideas outside of when he's making movies, but
yeah,
the dude's talented as fuck, so
yeah,
who am I to argue?
Yeah, same here.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the actual winners of these awards. Do we want to start with Game of the Year, just get it out of the way, and then move down the list, or Game of the Year?
Well, before we even say that, you want to give your predictions as well as mine before we get into it and see which one.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is that we pick a category and then we talk about our prediction and then we say who won.
I see, gotcha. I'm not married to either or. I'm okay with just starting from the very start of like Game of the Year.
That's why. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Okay. Well, then we'll go into Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I have written down here for Game of the Year. My prediction was to Deathloop. I wanted.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I wanted It Takes Two to win because I really enjoyed It Takes Two, but I didn't think it had what it took to win Game of the Year. And the other thing is that, like, when Deathloop had come out, all the reviews were saying how fucking groundbreaking it was, and that the sound was insane, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's got to win Game of the Year, like, it just has to. That's where I thought on why Deathloop was going to win.
I have put down Metroid Dread. I'd figured
interesting
because that game was getting so much praise. It was the first Metroid game that outsold the entirety of the other games in the series. It was a game series that Nintendo has always looked at and never thought to be a series that could be just as good as Mario or anything of that nature. And seeing it like explode this year was really cool to see. And
I think a lot of people, I think the reason that might have been the case with that game was because it was the first like true side-scrolling Metroid game that was new. I think that's why it sold. As for like being groundbreaking, I didn't think it was that groundbreaking.
True.
And I saw a lot of criticism on the counter, the counter ability in it.
Right. And I was also factoring like maybe recency bias might play in a factor into this as well, because that game like came out in October, I want to say, in October, maybe earlier than that. So it's kind of banking on that, but as we said before, like It Takes Two taking Game of the Year surprised the hell out of me and everybody else as well, as far as people I follow. Like, I didn't see that coming at all. That's why I call this the upset. Like, out of the games that were listed for Game of the Year, I would figure that It Takes Two was not one of them I was thinking of.
Well, you know what's funny is, sorry, I'm trying to find a pin here because I want to keep score of how many we got right. Which neither of us did on this one.
Yeah.
Have you played It Takes Two yet?
I've seen I've seen enough of it. I've seen the ending. I've seen people stream it. So I know what it's about in the story.
The reason I ask is because playing it was such an interesting experience. I got to play with my buddy Andy, and going through the game and having new abilities just being thrown at you super fucking fast, having like the gameplay completely change, and the intense amount of communication that needed to be there in order to get past puzzles and stuff. It was just so, like, it never was boring. The game never got boring one time. And having that ability, like having that in a game that you experience with somebody else, was such a fresh thing that I cherish so much. That's why I said on my list here, I want It Takes Two to win, but I didn't think that people cared about it as much as I did.
Yeah.
And it's good. So I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, same here. And I feel like, because I was trying to think of like, well, how did It Takes Two win? Like, and then I think about, well, if you think about the people who are voting, we're talking about, the gaming outlets and influencers. What's the one common thread that we saw that could tie into their hearts being taken by It Takes Two? Think about a lot of people in the game industry, our age or older, are parents, may have kids. And most of the time, our people working in the industry are mostly men, so mostly fathers. So my take was like, okay, maybe it's partly because these reviewers are also fathers, or also voting, or parents of some degree, and that kind of maybe tipped them over. But outside of that, like I'm still surprised. Like it's a great game. Like you reviewed it for.
I was very surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, you reviewed it for the YouTube channel. Like
I did.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh wow, it's shocker. But in the end, what a great character arc for the man who made
Joseph Fares. Yeah.
Such a great character arc, from going to fuck you to the Oscars on his pretty much debut of Game Awards to now winning Game of the Year.
What's funny is that when he said "fuck you" to the Oscars is when he premiered A Way Out. Like, and if you haven't played A Way Out, it's the same general idea,
right?
Like, and then his first game, Brothers,
which is a great game too.
Yeah, like my buddy and I were just like, any fucking game he comes out with, we're playing. Like, it's done. We're playing that game. And I wholeheartedly agree. It's like, if Joseph Fares is behind a game, it's going to be solid. So I'm so happy that he got to win Game of the Year.
Yeah, it's good on him. Good on him.
So to Hazelight Studios, you got a customer for life. You've nailed it 3 times in my book. So
yep. All right.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Best game direction.
I have. Like I said in that video, I had no idea what this award is for. It's a very weird, like, kind of vague, like.
It says here, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. And you got to think of game direction in the idea of, like, a director is somebody who keeps things on the right path. A director is somebody who can go between all these people who are working on this thing and kind of make sure that, like, let's say you have 10 people, Anthony, and you're the one that has to make sure that all 10 people are communicating properly. That's a director.
If you're a judge, how do you determine that from a game? Like,
so you determine that by how well the game flows, how well the game is constructed. Okay. If it feels like you're playing a game and you're like, man, everybody was on the same page while making this game, that's how you make that choice.
Okay. I see what you're saying. There's a certain flow to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I said It Takes Two for the same reason it won Game of the Year. Just like that made sense to me. What was your guess?
My guess was, I just threw out the Ratchet and Clank because they were nominated for a lot of awards, and I figured, like, this would be the direction that they would be possibly getting an award here for. But no, it went to Deathloop, which is a game I heard a lot of good. It's interesting because I heard a lot of good praise about Deathloop, but I feel like it kind of came and went. Like it had a moment of shine this year for about a good month, and then everybody kind of forgot about it afterwards.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Woof. I'm not even tired. I'm just yawning. But yeah, I mean, the other one I would have been okay with on that one was Psychonauts 2 if it won, but it didn't.
Same.
Yeah. So, all right. Next one on the list: best narrative. This says for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game.
I had a gut feeling. I was looking at this list, and my gut was saying I had a feeling that was going to be Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
So here's the thing. My guess was Psychonauts 2. I looked at this list and I went, okay, I've played It Takes Two, I've played Guardians of the Galaxy, and I've played Psychonauts 2. I haven't played Life is Strange, True Colors, or Deathloop. But the thing I always hear about Deathloop, it wasn't the story that I kept hearing about. It was its innovative gameplay.
Right.
And then when it came to Life is Strange, I thought, well, it could, but I feel like Life is Strange is definitely going to get that like award for being groundbreaking in having marginalized people at the forefront, right? That's where it's going to get its wins.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think that Guardians of the Galaxy should have won this. I think it 100% should have gone to Psychonauts 2. If you haven't had it, like I loved playing Guardians of the Galaxy. It was fun. It does a really cool thing where like you never can't just look away and do something. You know how in some games, like you're like, okay, I got to go from point A to point B, and it's going to be kind of boring, so I'm going to turn on a podcast while I do this in a game, right?
Yeah.
Like there's those parts of the games. It never lets you do that. Not one time does Guardians let you do that. And there's a reason behind that. It's because when you're going through levels, there's banter and bickering amongst the Guardians. Or other characters that happen to be involved in a situation, like Mantis is in a lot of levels. And the what's so cool about that is that it's there's always something to be listening to, always something to be interactive with. But, and this is a big but, about as big as mine, Psychonauts 2 had a more interesting story, personally. When I go to think back of Psychonauts 2, I'm going to think about the story. There are a few moments of gameplay that I think stand out big time, which we'll get to when we get to like innovative in gameplay or what the fuck ever. But I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
I was really kind of surprised.
I put down It Takes Two for this category. I was banking on that It Takes Two was going to have a big night for the Game Awards, and which it did. It won several awards. But I just had a feeling. I had a feeling because from the people that I was following, like they were saying some good praises about the game. I think one of the things I kept hearing is that they were shocked how good it was because there was so little confidence. Expectation of the games. After what was been shown for this past year and a half of trailers and whatnot, it just felt very underwhelming for a lot of people, and having it come out and surprise a lot of people. So it's like, oh wow, it's actually a lot better.
Dude, I saw that trailer and immediately knew it was going to be good. Like, I'm really surprised that people kind of felt that way. Like, it actually bugged me a little bit because I saw like I saw that game and I defended the hell out of it. I was like, it's going to be great, and people are just like, Avengers and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, it's a fucking single player game. It's not like Avengers in any way, shape, or form. It's also a different fucking studio.
Right, it is. You could also play in the part that, like, you know, people have been trained to watch Marvel films, and Marvel films have been pretty awesome. So when they see this, it's like, oh, this might be in the same, like, hey, maybe the writing is just as good as the movies. I know it's a kind of a stretch to say, but it could also set up something in the back of the judges' minds in terms like, oh, this actually was better than people give it for. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, all right, moving on. So we got Best Art Direction. It says here, for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. I 100% thought this was going to Psychonauts 2.
So here's my thought process is I had two games in my mind that I thought were going to win this. I thought it was going to be The Artful Escape Because if you just look at that game and just seeing some clips of what that game actually is, it is so freaking creative and beautiful. But then my other thought, this is when I went to Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, because that game was actually made by former animators. And you can tell in the cutscenes so fucking well. Like, it looks so good. So I figured to go to that, but no, I went to Deathloop, which I get has a certain art style to it. But here's my only argument against it is that Deathloop looks like the other two games that Arcane Studios had done. Yeah.
Which I'm drawing a blank on the names of those for some fucking reason, but its art style looks very much like those. To me, like, Kenna looks amazing, don't get me wrong. But nothing artistic stood out about Kenna that I could be like, oh my god, like, have you seen this art for this game? Artful Escape and Psychonauts 2 were the only two that I thought could win this category. And when it went to Deathloop, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But again, art is in the eye of the beholder, and everyone has a different taste on art. So, like, my taste in art is colorful, poppy, bright.
Right.
And so, but like, there's a whole level in Psychonauts 2 where, like, you're inside, like, anytime you're inside a brain, it's amazing. But there's one specifically, it's actually the character that's voiced by Jack Black. It's super psychedelic and fucking, oh my god, it's so cool.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, there's a thing in there.
Yeah. Okay, next category.
Best score in music.
For Ascending Music, inclusive of score, original song and or licensed soundtrack. This one surprised me too. This one legitimately surprised me too. I thought for sure it was going to go to the Artful Escape. I was wrong, way wrong.
You would think so. A game based on music should win best score in music.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, Cyberpunk had a great soundtrack. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy had a great soundtrack. They didn't win.
Yeah, but I will say, anything Nier touches music wise it's good. It's super good. So I'm not quite that surprised that Nier Replicant won this category. Yeah,
I don't know Nier Replicant well enough to say one way or the other, but I thought for sure one of the others was going to win.
Yeah.
So I was like, Nier, all right.
Yeah, like, if anything, like, I thought Artful Escape might have won this because the whole damn game is based on music. So part of me was like, oh, it should win, but then it's like, yeah, you know what? Nier's pretty good on that, so I think I'll give it to Nier on this one, which I got right. So.
Okay, I've got none right, so you got 2 right.
I got 1 right so far.
Right. Okay. So let me go ahead and jot that down. See here. 1. Okay. So the next category is best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. So, for clarification, like, if it has great surround and, like, you can hear specific sounds outside of certain things, like, that's what this means.
Mm-hmm.
I said Deathloop was going to get this one.
Interesting. I didn't pick up a winner for this just because I felt like I don't personally qualify to make a pick on this, just because yeah, I mean, I would just throw my vote away, well, per se, but I felt like I didn't had a good idea of who should win on this category. But it makes sense with the winner of Forza Horizon 5. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say, like I talked to a guy who played Deathloop with surround sound headphones, and like, he said that, like, you can hear people talking in the distance, and they feel like they're exactly as far as they sound. It's
cool.
And then a guy was like, like, I know that Forza, like, the more and more advanced it gets, the more and more you can hear components in a car.
Yeah.
And then, like, Resident Evil Village, I know for a fact that people talked about the sound in that.
Yeah. I mean, sound in horror games are very, very important. So
very important.
Yeah.
So everybody that was on this list, I don't know about Returnal, so I can't say whether or not that game deserved it or not. But it definitely, like, I was a little surprised. I thought for sure Deathloop was going to get that one.
Yeah.
But Okay, next category.
Yes.
Best performance. Um, so awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. I said that I'm gonna butcher her name. Ozama Akagaya, who played Julia Blake in Deathloop, was gonna win. Who did you say? Did you get this one right?
I got this one right, and I felt like, and there was conversation about this, which I agree with, and I felt like, well, she definitely deserves it, and for the work she did, I don't think she should deserve the award just because the character itself wasn't around for too long in Resident Evil Village.
That was my thought process. Was like, the girl that was up for Life is Strange, and the two actors for Deathloop, they're literally main characters.
Yeah.
For both games.
Yeah.
Laimi Dimitrescu and Anton Castillo, great performances by both Julia Carla Esposito and Maggie Robertson, but you're in the game for maybe an eighth of it.
Yeah.
An eighth total. So it was wild that I was like, Maggie, what? I mean, okay, I guess. But you were saying like...
Yeah, it's good for her, but like part of it, I felt the reason why is because when Lady D was shown off by Capcom, people just went nuts for her. She was memed so hard, and Capcom knew, and they leaned right into it. So she often showed up in a lot of trailers. So,
I mean, my thought process to that is like, if you're a judge for an award show and you're allowing memes to kind of dictate how you vote, that's fucked up.
It is.
But on the inverse of this, a lot of the time, like it's more about like the recognizability of somebody. Yeah. And this award was definitely going to go to the two that I didn't think deserved it to begin with. Mm-hmm. Not that they're bad performers, just that their characters aren't like hugely in it.
Yeah.
So
that's what I kind of pinned. I mean, I got the pick right, but at the same time, like, it should have gone to somebody else, honestly.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right, moving on. Next category is games for impact. I got this one right. I
didn't pick anything for this one. I kind of withdraw myself from this one as well.
Well, that's the thing about like Life is Strange, is that it deals with a lot of LGBTQ stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So I knew that's where that was going to go. Boyfriend Dungeon is a little odd that it was on this list because it seemed like a jokey sort of game, but I also never finished it.
Oh, Boyfriend.
The other one.
Oh, sorry, I forgot it's on here.
The other three I never played, so I was just like, I felt like I just was like, Life is Strange, throw my vote in the hat, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, it's the safe. It's always the safest bet if you're going for this, like, to go with Life is Strange. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, next category, best ongoing game, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Did I get this one right? I did get this one right. I said Final Fantasy 14.
So did I. I also put that down.
Yeah.
I would argue as I wish they would swap out one of these games for another game that I think also deserves to be in this category. I think this and the best community support actually as well. And I'm biased in saying this, but I think that Skullgirl should be on here as well. Like,
oh, it'll never be like. The problem with Skullgirls is it doesn't get a whole lot of press. Period. So,
wow.
Like, I rarely, if ever, see it on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I'm on game Twitter all the fucking time.
I know,
so.
I know.
But that's that's the thing. All 5 of these games I see fairly frequently on social media. More so fucking Warzone than I want, but
right.
But yeah, the reason I chose Final Fantasy 14 is that it's rare to see Final Fantasy 14 players mad about an update. Genuinely.
Yeah.
They're usually all about it. They're usually 100% going in. If there's something wrong with the game, it feels like the devs are really transparent and just immediately there to help.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 deserves all the love. Like, the entire history of that game, where it started, what happened to it, and where it is now, it's incredible. Like it's definitely one of those games that like I'm happy for them that they won the award and for all the hard work they put into it. And there's a lot of people who love the game. It is definitely better than WoW. So like it's definitely taking that crown in my opinion, like the best MMO right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. All right, next category, best indie. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. I did not get this one right. I said 12 minutes.
Interesting. I didn't get this one right either. I said Inscription because I haven't finished the game yet. I've gotten like, I want to say like 70, 80% into the game. The card system in that game is super good. Like I love the card system in that game. It's definitely a game where it mixes this card game, but like has story elements around it as well, where you're getting up from your seat and you're actually exploring the cabin. And I won't spoil it because like it's funny because like everybody else has been saying like if you just play the game and you get to like some weird part, and I believe, it gets really weird. So this is the same guy who made Pony Island, so like you can expect some weird shit from him. So.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Definitely.
Well, the reason I thought 12 Minutes was going to win was because of its cast, like, and its unique way of telling that story.
Yeah, which is super cool.
For sure, like, yeah. I still haven't played it myself. As a matter of fact, I haven't played any of these games, and I've played like maybe an hour of Kenna. So I didn't feel like I had a huge like vote into this, but I have watched a lot of Death's Door, a bit of Inscription. I've played Kenna, and I watched a lot of Loop Hero, and so I was like, man, like these are all great games that deserve to win this, but
they do. It's funny you mentioned it. I did play Death's Door and Loop Hero on here actually. I totally forgot about that, and I still finished Death's Door. I haven't played Kenna, but it looks good. I've heard some good stuff about the game, but like, hey, it's, good on them. Yeah. Just I wish Inscription would win. Also, shout out to Devolver Digital, who has like 3 games in this category.
Yeah.
So,
Devolver killing it in the fucking. Which is funny that they had 3. They had 60% chance to win it and did not.
Yeah. They're still awesome.
Because
they're still awesome.
Kenna came in and was like, "Oh, fuck yourself."
Yeah.
All right. So the next category is best mobile game. I got this one right because duh.
Yeah. I mean,
did you get it right?
I didn't predict this one. No. But if I were to guess, like absolutely, what Genshin Impact? Like,
yeah,
the no-brainer. That game has made so much money, mostly on mobile. Honestly, from what I've heard, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I said it was going to win. I've never heard of Fantasian. I don't even know what that one is. League of Legends Wild Rift is fine. Marvel Heroes Revolution is okay, and Pokemon Unite is much better on the Switch than on mobile. Yeah. But like you said, Genshin Impact it just makes so much fucking money on mobile.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, the next category we are going to is Best Community Support.
Yep.
Which is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches. I 100% got this one right.
Same here. Yeah.
I did not get it right. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I did not get it right.
What'd you put down?
No Man's Sky.
Oh, okay. No, I can see the argument for that. Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for Final Fantasy. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally think that Apex or Destiny deserved to be on the list. Fortnite does an okay job, I feel like, but yeah definitely the winner deserved to win. Yeah, but the reason I thought it'd be No Man's Sky was because of all the updates that they've come out with. Was what I thought that's why they would get it.
Right.
Because they've made that game playable.
Absolutely. They went far and beyond with that game, honestly. Like, they not only fixed it and playable, but they added so much more stuff to it where it's actually really good and definitely worth checking out at this point. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one I didn't really vote on, innovation and accessibility.
I didn't put this one either, but I realized this is too obvious of who was gonna win.
Dude, yeah. So it's like innovation in accessibility presented by Chevrolet. We have Far Cry 6, Horizon Zero 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Veil Shadow of the Crown. Shocking, the car won.
Yes, that has some association with a car company in this category. Yeah.
So funny. All right, the next category is best AR/VR game. I got this one wrong. No, I got it right. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. I'm always looking at the wrong one on my list here. I got this one right.
Yep, same here. From what I've seen, RE4 looks fun on Oculus Rift 2. People have it. I've seen some people play on stream, and it's looks a lot of fun. It looks like RE4, but just in VR. But they made some cool innovations to it. One of the cool things I saw is that you literally have to type out your save on a typewriter. Because oftentimes in Resident Evil games, you have to use a typewriter, and it does it for you. But in this instance, you actually have to type it out, which is super fun and super cool. So, yeah, I like it.
Good shit. All right. Next one is best action game.
I got this right.
Let me see. Best action game. I also got it right.
Yeah.
I think the reason that I voted. What was your reason for voting for this one?
Because when the initial Game of the Year nominees came out, I felt that Returnal got snubbed this year from it. I feel like it was a game that is very much worth Game of the Year discussions. And it probably will be, not with this, but like many other outlets, as we soon will hear from many of those in this month or next month. And I feel like that was a game that was really praised at the beginning of the year. It is like one of the downsides, obviously, was the way you played about the game, because like there was no save system, and you had to. Some people would pause the game, and then leave their PS4 or PS5 running, so that when they get back from work, they can continue the run. Because there was no way to save it, and there's no way to actually save your progress. Because it was very much, the idea was very much an arcade like experience. So I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. I've seen enough of it to like say like, oh, definitely yes, this is a roguelike. So I would have loved to play this on PS5. But for as much as I've seen in the talk I've heard, like it's definitely should have been in contender for this year's Game of the Year. But if anything, I thought this is one of the categories it would win in.
So I'll say this much about the other games. Back 4 Blood, I don't think deserves to win any awards this year. The game is kind of broken a little bit, and its difficulty meter is just fucking astronomically high. Like, there's problems with it, but that's besides the point. So I don't think it deserves to win anything. Mm-hmm. Chivalry 2 is fine. It's a fucking multiplayer game.
It's a funny game.
It can be very funny, yeah.
Yes.
Deathloop has a lot of story. Far Cry 6 has a ton of story. It is not always an action game. Returnal, on the other hand, holy shit. You are.
Oh, absolutely.
It is always, it's action. So that's why I said Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my literally only reason for voting for that one. All right, next category. Best action/adventure. For the best action/adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. I said Ratchet and Clank.
I got this right. I said Metroid Dread.
Damn it. You're just beating me.
If we're talking about action adventure, we literally have the game that kind of invented Metroidvania. Well,
true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Metroid Dread didn't deserve to win this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, again, what Metroid Dread did, I didn't think it innovated or did a lot of new stuff that we haven't already seen. And Psychonauts 2 kind of does, but doesn't. There's some stuff that Psychonauts 2 does that I think is amazing. Like, for example, dude, have you played Psychonauts 2?
I have not. Is that on Game Pass by any chance? Okay, then I'll probably will play it then at some point.
There's a spot in the game where you have to go through somebody's mind, and they used to work at a hospital. When you get into her mind, you then learn how to make connective dots between things, between thoughts, that changes her mind. So you basically fuck her mind over into thinking that gambling is a good thing. So because her background was in like being a nurse and medical stuff, and now you make her want to gamble, everything looks like a fucking casino hospital inside her head.
That's kind of fucked.
It's so fucking awesome because you go through her mind normally, and then you go through it again with the gambling aspect, and it's fucking rad. But there's a part where you have to get into like the part of her brain that is only accessible by kind of finding the right stuff. And when you do, like, there's basically portals or doorways that you'll go into, and it's a completely different part of the game. Like, it's wild, dude. You have to see what I'm talking about. But like, that's the stuff that sticks out in my mind of Psychonauts 2. And Resident Evil Village, I mean, it could have won. I mean, it has lots of puzzles. And action, adventure.
Well, there were puzzles, but I wouldn't even call them really puzzles, honestly. They're like...
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Like, that's how I feel about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it's an adventure game.
Right.
I don't know about the puzzle part.
Right. Yeah. There are other Resident Evil games that have far better puzzles. So...
Like, but yeah, I'm okay with Metroid Dread winning. I just didn't think it was going to. I thought for sure Psychonauts was going to get this category.
I'm happy for the company to finally get recognition because of what went down with them during the development of Metroid Dread. So
yeah. All right, next category: best role-playing game. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. I got this one right. I said Tales of Arise, and it was correct.
Same here. This was basically...
Would you stop getting them right?
Hey, don't blame me. I'm good at guessing, I guess. I had a feeling about this, honestly. Like, I was hearing a lot of good stuff about Tales of Arise from a lot of people. I didn't hear a whole lot of people saying the same praises for Tales of Arise for the other games on here. Especially,
well, I thought I was gonna say I thought the only one that had a chance against Tales of Arise was Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah.
Because I did hear quite a bit of good things, but it felt like Monster Hunter Rise and Scarlet Nexus just fell the fuck up off the map. Like nobody was talking about them.
Yeah.
The second they came out, especially Scarlet Nexus. Good lord. I mean, I heard about the game because it was on Game Pass.
There were so many ads for that for Scarlet Nexus. So it's one of those. It's one of those, as I like to describe it.
Yeah.
Like people enjoy it if they love their anime RPGs, but like it's not. It's kind of your run in the mill type of deal.
But I for sure did not think that Cyberpunk was going to win, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah.
Like CD Projekt Red, fucking shit the bed so bad with that game.
Oof. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I rented it to play it on my PlayStation because I have a PS4 Pro.
Ooh.
Where at the time, all I had was a base Xbox One. I didn't even have an Xbox One X, let alone a Series S or X, and it would not install on my PS4 Pro.
Whew. Yeah.
It refused to install, and I know it's not the system because I just rented Kenna and it downloaded no problem. I rent games for it all the time and they download no problem. So. Like, Cyberpunk was a broken mess when it came out, and it did not deserve to win. If it's a great game now, awesome. Glad for CD Projekt Red, make the game good, and I'll play it in a couple years.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next category.
Yes.
Best fighting game. So, I got this one right.
Same here.
God damn it.
Well, this one I already knew. This one I already knew. If it was not this game,
this was obvious.
If this was not this game, I would be surprised.
This was obvious. This was very obvious.
I would not be so shocked if Melty Blood won. I think that was probably like the second highest game on here that is really good. But let me explain why Guilty Gear Strive won here. First off, it had rollback. The net code that is very popular with Skullgirls, but like in other games as well, that is now picking up steam. It is a far superior net code for fighting games. And
you know what's funny? Is that that Warner Brothers game that's coming out, the fact that it has rollback netcode was the thing I heard probably second most next to like fucking Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Absolutely.
When it was like announced.
Absolutely. So that's the first reason. Two, I think the surprising thing to me about this game is the fact that it breached into the mainstream more than I thought. Whether it be visuals, because visually it's a fucking stunning game. Like the game looks so good, but partially it's that. But I felt like maybe the other reason outside of the story, I think, was the fact that the way the game plays is much more friendlier to newcomers than it was ever before. Because the long history of Guilty Gear is the fact that this is a game series that is very hard to get in. Like it's a game series that if you want to play Guilty Gear, like it's going to be very, very difficult. But for this game though, to kind of come out and say like, no, if you're new, like you could play this game and push buttons and have a great time. And if you put a little bit of work into it, like you'll do decent. Like it definitely kind of breached that mainstream to the point that you can't do that. Like the damage is just so high in this game, to where like I wouldn't say like a newbie could be a pro, but like can be decent at somebody who's might have put in tons of hours into this game. So
yeah, it definitely seems like the gateway fighting game.
Absolutely. So which is funny because like in surprising, like Guilty Gear in general is very niche, and the fact that it's broken the mainstream to get this award and get as high prices and sell a lot of money or sell a lot of copies, it's cool. It's really awesome to see. So good on them for that. So
no, that's great. I mean, I looked at this list and I said I've never seen Melty Blood, so there's that. I played the Demon Slayer game recently and it's fine, but I didn't think it was like a fighting game. I thought the mechanic was there for the sake of like playing the RPG aspect, but then it was like, oh, it's also a fighting game. I was like, that sounds terrible. The fucking Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl it's cheap fucking Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's fine. I played it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Which you don't want to hear from a game. You don't want to hear it's fine.
Yeah.
And then Virtual Fighter, I didn't even know that game was still having new games come out. So there's that.
It came out on PS Plus it came out on PS Plus this year, and it's just an updated Virtual Fighter with better graphics, which is their way of saying like, hey, we want to make another Virtual Fighter, and they probably will because it got a lot of downloads. So
yeah,
which is cool. Hey, I want to see another Virtual Fighters. That'd be sick to see.
Yeah. All right, best family game. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. I got this one right. I said It Takes Two.
Same here.
Come on.
I was rolling hot that night. I was.
Dude,
I wasn't batting 100, but I was just heading out of the park with a lot of my picks.
I thought for sure you were going to say Mario Party. I thought you were going to say Mario Party.
I kind of wanted to, but I also said, well, the game is literally about a family, and the category is best family, and whether or not the story actually is around, like, is it good to play with your son, sister, brother about this story of It Takes Two? That is definitely a good question to ask. But I figured like it's about family, like it's best family. I'm pretty sure that the judges will look at that and it's like, okay, probably should win this just because it is entire game and story is about family, versus the other games where Mario Party Superstars has a Mario Party really united a family, honestly. Like, all I kept hearing, this is like,
Well, it's like uniting a family isn't necessarily what the category is for. My argument is it says best family game. So it's best, like, when I think about what games my friend can play with his kids, that's what I think of. And Mario Party was definitely in that. It hit that niche just right because it's 4 players. It's touch and go. You can do it 10 turns and just have a good time. Even if you're yelling at each other and you're laughing, you're having a good time. It Takes Two is specifically 2 people.
Yeah.
And you want 2 people who are decent at platformers because it's mostly a platformer. Pokemon Snap, I mean, it's visually fine for kids, but it's a single player game.
Yeah.
I don't know how you play that with a family. Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, I thought was another close contender because I played 3D World with Andy and his kids, my friend Andy and his kids. Not this version, not the Switch version, but the Wii U version.
Right.
And then the Bowser's Fury part is a single player game. You can have another person play as Bowser Jr., but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you'd want to.
Yeah.
And then WarioWare, I mean, it can be it's 4 players. It can be
I think outside of Takes Two, I think that WarioWare and Mario Party had the best chances. WarioWare is basically a bunch of mini games, but they're fun mini games. Like you are just doing it's a bunch of I can't say the name. It's a bunch of mini games that that is like, hey, you're picking a nose, or hey, you're doing rock paper scissors. It's a very quick and action, just like bite-sized little things to act on the fly, which can be really fun and funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured that had a good chance. But no,
I legitimately thought, like, I said It Takes Two. I definitely said It Takes Two was going to win. Because in terms of gameplay, in terms of what you can get out of it, It Takes Two is the best experience out of all 5 games in the categgory.
Absolutely. Gameplay wise, yes.
But in terms of I thought for sure Mario Party was going to win. I did not think It Takes Two was actually going to take it. And I threw it. I wrote down It Takes Two because I think I wanted it to win.
Right.
So I don't know.
I still think that Mario Party, like, as much as yes, it is it is suited for families. At the same time, it's like there's I don't know who you played with, but there were definitely games where it got heated. So I'm like, I don't know.
I'm sure, but I've played a lot of Mario Party in my life, and I've never gotten that angry or seen anyone get that angry. So
unless they're streamers.
Not even then. Like stealing a star was the person stealing a star is going, ha, 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 and the person who got a soul is like, fuck you, dude. And then that's it. And then you go to the next game, like you keep playing. Like, I don't know. I never saw it get fucking table flippy mad. Next category. Taking a lot of time here. Best sim/strategy game. I got this one wrong. I thought Microsoft Flight Simulator was going to take it because of its hyper realistic visuals.
I withdraw myself from this category only because I don't feel outside of Inscription and Flight Sim, like I didn't feel like I would know which one exactly would win it. But I'm kind of not surprised. Age of Empires series, great strategy game. I was gonna say,
like I saw a ton of people playing it.
Yep.
I should have voted for it.
I played the crap out of Age of Empires 2, and I loved the hell out of that. I would assume 3 was good and 4 was on there. I was like, okay, I assumed that was going to be the winner as well if I had picked.
Yeah, fair. All right, next category then. Moving on to best sports/racing game. I got this one right.
Yeah, I didn't pick a thing either in this one just because I didn't feel qualified for this.
3 point for me. Woo-hoo.
I will say though, I heard a lot of good talk about Hot Wheels Unleashed though. Like I felt like that was like, it was cool to see it on there, and I heard a lot of good stuff about it. But I am not surprised. Forza,
it's a good game.
Really good.
I would legitimately say that Hot Wheels Unleashed is a good game. It loses its kind of fun after a while because it is purely a racing game. There is nothing else to it. And what I mean by that is there's no power-ups, there's no special things you can do in it. You just play and unlock cars. Like there's nothing really else. There's nothing really else to it. So, Horizon has like a story to it.
Does it really?
So that's why I said it was gonna win.
Wow, that is nutty. Okay, cool.
I didn't think that F1 or FIFA were gonna win, not by a long shot. Like they never do.
Yeah.
And then Riders Republic, I thought it might have a chance, just because like it has a really interesting and innovative mechanic in it of using like a glider, bike, parachute. Like it has like I think 7 different like forms of transportation in it or something. It's insane. Yeah. And you can play games where you just immediately like switch to the other style. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But it's getting no love right now, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, I when that game came out, like I haven't heard much people talk about it, and like I love the idea. I think it's an interesting idea to tag along, but like I think that people just didn't grab onto it as much. Like it was interesting to see, and a lot of people just kind of like passing.
Did you say you voted for this one?
No. Which one was it? Hang on, it was for best
sports / racing.
No, I didn't vote for this one. No.
Okay. That's a free point for me. All right, best multiplayer, which had 6 categories this time. Let's see. I got it right.
Same here. I did too. Are
you kidding me?
I kid you not. I was banking that It Takes Two was going to have a big night, and I was correct. And I figured like, it was mostly that honestly. It's mostly that it was hoping to big night. But looking at the games on here, if it was for It Takes Two, I would figure like either New World or Valheim would take it, because I've seen there was so much praise and so much love for Valheim when it came out. A lot of people were playing it. Not my type of game. I watch people play it, but like I can see why people really love it. It was like kind of a pseudo Minecraft in a way. And New World, like everybody was on it. It came out. It was a game that from Amazon Games that finally was good outside of their catalog, what they had before. It was that people were streaming themselves, like being in queues that were on for hours just trying to get in. I would figure that one of those two would take it, but no, it went to It Takes Two. Like,
yeah.
I guess to kind of go along with like you were saying before, like the gameplay is just really good and it works.
Yeah. I definitely thought New World or Valheim had a chance. Knockout City, I think, is a great fucking game.
Same.
It just didn't have the staying power. I thought for sure it was going to be like arguably another fucking Rocket League, but no, it just kind of
came and went.
came and went for sure.
It's a harsh reality, man. It's a harsh world out there.
That's the entertainment biz, man. Like that's 100% the entertainment biz. Like you can make a thing, and if it doesn't click, it doesn't mesh, like move on to the next thing, because you're not going to be able to make it work. It's just not, like, so anyway.
Yeah.
All right, next category. I did not vote on Creator of the Year.
Nor did I.
I did not.
I know of who Dream is, who is a Minecraft content creator. So, and he's very popular. So it's like, okay, well, good.
Same here. I know Dream. I know of Dream. I don't know who Dream is or any of his content.
Yeah. So good for him.
Best debut indie. I got this one wrong.
I got this right.
God damn it! You're now 2 ahead of me.
Yep. I'm trying to think. When I was looking at this category, I think I was banking that Kenna was gonna win it because of how good it looked and the talk about it. I kind of felt like if it wasn't this, it might have been Valheim or I want to say Sable, but I feel like Sable.
Here's my problem.
I feel like Sable is just so underdeserved and overlooked.
Dude, I played Sable. It's boring.
Is it really?
It's genuinely fucking boring. Like, Forgotten City is also kind of like it just looks like a fucking. I don't know. I don't know how Forgotten City got in here. Like, they showed up to the party late and everyone was just kind of like, "Hey, who's this guy?" And that guy goes like, Sometimes when I fart, I put it into a bag and then I tie it up real tight and I bury it in the backyard so nobody knows. Like that's Forgotten City to me.
Wow.
Compared to the other games, like yeah, like I don't. It's not a good game. I'm just gonna say it. It's not a good game. Don't know why it's here. Like Artful Escape, Kenna, Sable, and Valheim are games that are playable and that are decent. I find Sable to be boring, but I'd also find Valheim to be boring. I don't like survival-based games. Artful Escape was a very art-heavy style game. I think that Valheim to me had a chance to win because everyone was talking about it and everyone loved its art style and its setting and whatnot, right?
Right, yeah.
But I should have went with Kenna because not everyone won't shut the fuck up about it. All right, next category. This is the last one I voted on. Most anticipated. This one was easy. Good Lord.
Did I put most anticipated on my list? Let me see.
I did.
I did not. So you get this free point. I'm not surprised.
He won. His only.
And we're not counting the esports section.
No, because I don't know anything. Like I don't know enough to vote for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, Elden Ring. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Everyone wants to play it. It's
no surprise. No surprise there.
Like I would say, in order of like most anticipated for everybody, it goes Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, Starfield, and then Ragnarok. And I think the only reason Ragnarok is low on the list is because it's the only one. That's the one that comes out the latest out of all five.
I would have switched God of War with Starfield. I think that there is a bit more hype.
Oh, I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right. You're actually correct because Ragnarok comes out before Starfield. My bad.
Yeah, and outside of like a trailer, we don't know what Starfield looks like. So
you're right. You're absolutely correct on that. I was for some reason I was thinking Starfield was a different game. But this one was a no-brainer. An absolute no fucking brainer.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there you have it, folks.
Did you vote on the esports ones?
The only one I voted for was Best Esports Event, and I got that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. There you go. The only other thing that was on here that I thought was kind of interesting was the Player's Voice winner.
Oh, Player's Choice? Yeah.
Because they did it in a way that was like it was almost a bracket, and it kept knocking down votes, and Halo Infinite won.
Yeah.
So
that was just for what was that award for? Like,
it was just like for fun. They didn't even show it at the award show.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's that, and that's all.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, Game of the Year awards and all that jazz for the Game Awards was pretty fun. I had a blast watching it.
It's always a good time, man. Like I know that. I know the award, like the Game Awards, gets a lot of like flack for being kind of, I don't know. No, we've been talking about the Game Awards for a long time, and I saw a post I made on Facebook a long ass time ago when it came to the one Game Awards show that was hosted by Joel McHale, and it was stupid fucking awkward. Like,
oh yes, I remember that one. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that was weird. And to be fair, like, this is Jeff Keighley's baby. Like, he's been working on it for so long. He talked about it long ago. I remember it was the PAX, the opening. I won't say a monologue, but like he was at a PAX event where he opened about his history and what he wants to do, and this is the exact thing he's been working hard for. So this is definitely like something he's been working hard for most of his life. And
I was gonna say he was on the Funhouse podcast like a couple of years ago talking about how like when he got into the industry, one of the things he wanted to do was host events like this. So
yeah,
the fact he's gotten to the point where he's able to do it is so cool.
Not to mention like his Game Awards carries so much now. It has such more so much influence that like now you have things revealed at his award shows that are you would think would be at E3, but they aren't. I think the it was last year. What I think legitimized the Game Awards was the fact that Microsoft came in and unveiled the next Xbox there. Which is crazy. Like you don't. Well, I shouldn't say it was too surprising because if you think about it, Microsoft Theater, that's what they do shows at anyways. Microsoft come in to show off their new console. It made sense. So in that aspect, of course they would do that. But just even then, to have a console be shown off at a non-E3 event, a non-Microsoft event, is still that's a huge W for
well, that's that was what you're talking about with its importance in the gaming world. Like this was brought up days before the event went live because Kotaku had put out an article saying that like the Game Awards has no intent of disallowing Activision or anything Activision based to be there, blah blah blah. This turned out to not be entirely true. This genuinely was not entirely true. It turned out that that Jeff Keighley and everybody had already planned a thing, but they wanted to keep it for the show and not like already put it out there that they were going to address it. Which they did. We watched it live, and Jeff went out there and he was just like, harassment and treating your employees like shit is not, acceptable. And I thought it was great that he came out there and said that publicly and did that, but that was planned days before the fucking Kotaku article had come out.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping I was really hoping that other devs that will go up there for the acceptance speeches would also call out Activision, but they didn't, which saddens me a little bit.
I mean, it's their moment, and I don't think that it'd be entirely fair to expect them to do that in their moment.
True.
Other than saying like, if any of our employees feel like there's something going on, come directly to us or something to that effect. Like that would have been fine.
Right.
But to just outright call out, a different company while you're accepting an award feels odd.
Yeah, true.
So, but no, but well done, Jeff. Well done, everybody at the Game Award. Like, it was a good show. It was entertaining.
Absolutely. Can't wait for next year. I just hope I somehow sneak in. I was trying to find a way to get in this year, but I found out it's only invite only. So I was like,
Yeah. Especially with COVID stuff. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Apparently they had that big deal with everybody because if you got the invite, you had to send proof of vaccination or something to that effect.
Well, yeah, it's also required in LA. Like you can't go to anywhere without a vaccination card. So that's.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is mandated in the city of LA. So yeah, so they had to, regardless.
I forget that you live in LA now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a weird world out here, man. I don't know. It's I walk down the street and I see Will Ferrell just kind of say hi to me sometimes.
Boy, do I not believe that for a second.
I wish it was true. But that's gonna do it for us. So
yeah.
Before we end the show, as per usual, Greg, where can I find you on the internet?
You can follow me under all socials you can find me on all social medias under Chub Rock Geek. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I couldn't say that correctly. You can also find my other podcasts that I do with my my co-host Maya. We talk about Netflix shows, YouTube show, not YouTube, but wow, my brain just went fucking dumb for a second. Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, yada yada, Disney Plus. We talk about shows that are exclusive to streaming services. This last episode we just uploaded, we talked about the He-Man show, Masters of the Universe Revelations, both part 1 and part 2 of season 1. And we talk about episode 4 of Hawkeye. This upcoming episode, which will be this Friday, we're going to talk about episode 5 of Hawkeye. And then the following episode, we're going to have a big one because we're going to talk about the finale of Hawkeye, the South Park post-COVID special, which we talked about the first part. Now the second part comes out soon. This Thursday. So we're gonna talk about that. This is where they show the South Park kids as adults.
I've seen some trailers and some TV spots of that, which is kind of weird to see. But yeah,
dude, it's so funny. It's so good. You have to watch it. What I would recommend. Do you have HBO Max?
I do actually.
Okay, so on HBO Max, if you go to the South Park like seasons, go to the very last season, and there's one episode, and it's called the Pandemic Special. Watch that, then find part 2 of that, which is it's South Park, but the last part of Park is a Q. Vaccination or vaccination special or something to that effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because part 1 is about the middle of the pandemic, part 2 is about the vaccinations, and then the special that's on Paramount Plus called Post COVID takes place 40 years in the future.
Oh,
but it brings stuff, like it references stuff from those other 2 episodes. That's why I'm recommending that, and it's not that much of your time. Like, all of them are like maybe 40 minutes long. So
okay, not too bad.
It's 100% worth your time. It's pretty fucking entertaining. But yeah, this Thursday, the second part. So yeah, we got finale of Hawkeye, South Park post-COVID part 2. We're gonna talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, and then on Saturday, every episode of Witcher season 2 comes out.
Nice.
So that one episode, we're gonna have those 4 things to talk about, and it's just heavy episode.
Awesome.
Heavy episode.
Awesome.
But yeah, you can check that out on All Queued Up Podcast, which you can find at if you type it into YouTube, you can find our video version there, which is mainly me on screen because mine never gets on camera. And if you search All Queued Up on Google, you'll find it. No problem.
Awesome.
Yeah, Podbean or whatever you listen to, it's there. So All Queued Up.
Sweet.
That's it. What about you, Anthony?
You can follow me on all socials at Defective Naruto on Twitter for my personal Twitter account. If you don't mind breaking the illusion here and you're seeing me and you realize, hey, that's Clawmaster, a VTuber, then yes, I have a VTuber account. I am also a VTuber. You can follow me on my VTuber account at Clawmaster_, where I post about future videos and other weird shenanigans that happen within the scene or community that I'm learning more and more about. But yes, probably just those. And then the YouTube channels, which on here at Mission Star Tubes, and as well as my other YouTube channel for my VTuber YouTube channel, which is, I believe, youtube.com/Clawmaster1, the actual number. I have to double check on that, but yes. But anyways, with that being said, thank you all for watching, and we will see you guys next time.